So, what about some real examples though? I'll go back to my country, 1984. That was the year we elected a socialist Labour government. The very first thing they did was to enact legislation banning nuclear warships from our harbours. And that destroyed the Australia, New Zealand, United States military alliance, ANZUS, overnight. You couldn't send your ships into our harbours, our alliance with you was dead. Still not been revived. So how come, at the height of the Cold War, could a pro-Western, pro-American country like New Zealand, whose bacon had been saved by you only a generation before, how come we could so willingly turn our backs on the Western Alliance? Well, this is how it was done. A few years after this, I had the privilege over several months of interviewing a New Zealander who had infiltrated our local Communist Party for our security services, our FBI. Now, he was a government spy inside the Communist Party. In 1983, he was sent to Moscow with 3 other comrades to train at Lenin's Institute for Higher Learning at Leningradsky Prospect. Now, this was like a Muslim going to Mecca or a Christian going to Jerusalem. This was the heart of the communist movement. And there were 6,500 students training at any one time, many of them on one-to-one tutelage, many of them on 7-year courses. This was the training academy of the future world communist leadership. People from every country of the globe. Now, they were all taught Russian history to build loyalty to Moscow. They were taught trade union building. They were taught espionage techniques. They were taught racial agitation. But the most important thing they were all taught, especially the Western comrades, was how to take Moscow's policies back to their home country, and by using the labour unions and the peace movement and even the churches to make Moscow's policies their own government's policies. From Moscow to the communists, to the unions, to their own government. They did this many, many times. They would use the Canadian Liberal Party, the British Labour Party, the French Socialist Party, the German Social Democratic Party, and of course the American Democratic Party. Countless times. So this was a time of the massive anti-nuclear marches in Europe. Hundreds of thousands of people walking through Berlin and Rome and Paris with big ban the bomb signs, get America out of Europe, disband NATO, no nukes, hundreds of thousands of people. And there was a real fear in many circles that the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, would break up. And of course the Soviets were funding all of this and directing it all because they understood that if they could get rid of NATO, they would dominate Europe. And I'll say straight to you right now, your military and your military alliances in 2013, as in 1983, are Moscow's #1 target. #1. Because they know if they can take your military down, Russia and China and Iran and all of their allies can basically do what they want. Your military is the only thing standing in their way right now. That's why Mr. Putin, despite this little spat over Syria, loves Obama like a chocolate. He loves him because Obama is giving him everything he wants. What is he doing to your military on a day-to-day basis? What did he do just recently? Sacked a whole bunch of your generals in charge of your nuclear command. The most experienced defenders of your country and the most important part of your defence apparatus, and they're gone. To be replaced by who? It won't be people who love this country, that's for sure. And if this goes far enough, folks, if this is allowed to go far enough, your enemies around the world, when you get weak enough, are going to gang up on you. And who do you think is going to come to your support then? No one. Some of your current allies may even join the enemy. But they won't be there to help you, you'll be on your own. So your military is the #1 priority for the left. They want to destroy that more than anything. That's why they're destroying your economy, because if they can wreck your economy, you will accept the downgrading of your military. Because you'll be in so much distress, you won't notice what's going on.